What are custom AI agents? They're role-specific agents. They're kind of specialized agents for distinct tasks that provide consistent brand voice. So you train these AI agents, and I'll show you how to do that. And it sounds a little bit more vague than when I show it to you, but let me just address the benefits so you know what what's the reason why we're doing this. We want to train our agents to reflect our firm's style and values, ensuring that every output remains on brand, right? We want to stay consistent. We also want to use these custom AI agents to offload repetitive tasks to AI. We also want to create a centralized knowledge base. Data is very important during the AI age, which is the age that we're in right now. So you want to gather as much data as possible. Just like how Serif has a knowledge base, you want to do the same thing inside of ChatGPT. Trust me, it's very beneficial, and I'll show you why and how that's done. So you can feed these AI agents your firm's processes and templates for quick references and for quick uses. And it allows for scalable efficiency. So you can easily replicate agents across new practice areas as you grow. I do this all the time. Once I create one agent, I go replicate that agent for another law firm using the same frameworks and things that I've done. And also I could even replicate that agent over when that agent becomes tired. And I'll explain what that means shortly as well. So let me, instead of showing you a screenshot, let me just show it to you at a very practical level. All right, so in my bookmarks, I have a folder called AI. As you can see, a lot of folders. And this is the reason why I'm here. I'm here to filter through all these different tools to say, hey, you don't need all these tools. You just need this one particular tool. Okay? So you can see, I'm not just, saying these things. I have to go through a lot of these different tools, test them out. But the ones where I care about and where I want to focus on is right here, agents. What I shared at our conference a year and a half ago was I realized that people are using ChatGPT in the wrong way. The way that most people use ChatGPT is they date their GPT. That means whenever they need something, they go start a conversation, they ask a very naked question, and then they leave. And then whenever you need it, come back, you start a new conversation, you ask it questions, and you leave. Instead, what you have to do is spend time to date your GPT. And by dating, I mean nurturing, building a knowledge base, feeding it, giving it information before you pull information out. So what I did was I treated each ChatGPT conversation as a specialized agent. So I have specialized agents for every different aspects of my law firms, my business, and my life. So I have an agent that's for social media, my social media posts. It's an AI agent that's trained in how I like my social media posts to be. My tone, my topics, how I write, sometimes how other people write, whatever that is, I'm feeding it information. Hey, I love these types of posts. I love the way that these people wrote these posts. So that becomes my social media expert. Also have one that knows my legal academy really well. Also create another ChatGPT conversation that knows lemon law, every aspect of my law firm about lemon law really well. Have one that knows me really, really well, which I will share with you in shortly. And have one that's helping me draft my book. I have one for another one of my law firms. I have another one for my podcast. I have one for another niche, one of my other law firms. I have one for productivity. I have one for another law firm. I have one for coming up with video ad scripts. So each ChatGPT conversation, and I know, again, probably a good percentage of us already have this, but I realized that 90% of my AI ChatGPT use is coming from these AI agents. And what I used to do is I used to, come here, try to find it and try to, use that particular agent. But what I did was a couple of months ago is I created a bookmarks out of these. And now it's very quick access right here. Bam, bam, bam. I'm dealing with something with lemon law. I'm about to create some kind of, ad script or whatever for lemon law, or I have some data about lemon law that I just got. I want to throw that in and I have easy access to it. So different law firms, different businesses, different situations, personal stuff, for finding a home. credit card stuff. Let's just say I'm trying to find the right credit cards for different expenses. I give it a list of all the different types of credit cards that I have, and I say for this expense, what will be the best card out of all my cards? Crypto calculations, video ad script framework, video summarizes, stuff for presentation, whatever that is, I'm creating those agents. So, how do we create these? Well, let's just say, I would say the most important one is creating an AI agent that knows your law firm. And this is the one that we actually worked on in a workshop instead of at MLA Live 2024, which is now already a year and 5 months ago. It's crazy how time flies. We had a whole 2-hour workshop. I gave you a prompt of basically it was like a set of like 30 questions, all about asking questions about your law firm. And let me see if I have it. I'm pretty sure. Actually, I could share the resource from if anybody wants it. Here, I'll put the link in the chat. MLA Live 2023 resources. There you go. Again, there's a lot more to it. Each of these things that are on this document requires a lot of explanation, a lot of things. But if you go to page 7 or 8, page 8, ChatGPT prompt to create your AI law firm agent. This is a prompt. What you want to do, by the way, the way to take advantage of this is make a copy for yourself. And what you want to do, this first part is just something to copy and paste, but this main part is this. Here's some context about my law firm to help you become my AI law firm agent. And he has these set of questions right here. What type of law does your law firm specialize in? Where do you serve clients? Who's your ideal client? What CRM do you use? What's unique about your law firm? Who's on your team, etc. It's giving context about your law firm. What you want to do after you make a copy of this document is answer these questions. Literally right here, press enter, answer the questions, and answer it as best as you can. And once you do that, you're going to copy and paste this whole thing into ChatGPT. And now one ChatGPT conversation is going to know a lot about your law firm and those nuances that you give it about, the types of clients that you serve, what issues do they have, what's the result you give them, what testimonials do you have, if you can give it the testimonials, how many, if you have case studies, throw those in there. What do you say in your videos when you're talking to clients? Whatever nuances you give in there, now whenever you ask it to do something, let's just say, "Hey, help me write a 30-second UGC video ad." It's going to incorporate all those contexts that it already knows about your law firm. And when you feed it your own custom information, it's going to do a much, 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 much better job of a better output than if you were to just go into ChatGPT and say, I am running a personal injury law firm, write me a video ad that's going to help you generate more leads. That's going to give you the most generic, waste of time output versus it now knows the different context about your law firm. So what you want to do, again, it's not something to do right now, but think about, over time that I want to build an AI agent for my law firm. The second one that I recommend is an AI agent that knows everything about you. And this will be addressed in point number 3. This is really, 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 really valuable. I cannot stress how valuable this is. Because ultimately, if you're the biggest factor in this thing called life and business and everything you're currently doing. So what if there's an AI agent that knows every nuance and detail about you? That's going to help you figure out your weaknesses. It's going to help you maximize your productivity. It's going to help you find your blind sides, blind spots. So many different things that come out of, having an AI that knows you and you're able to ask it questions. And it's really freakishly good. And what I do is, once I come with these questions, these amazing questions, and I could give you some too, I print them out and I put them up on my board, and they turn into affirmations or different things that I work on and try to improve on. And those insights are usually coming from ChatGPT, and it's really, really, really valuable. And the third one is any other specific use that you need over time. And again, as I share with you mine, the mines are usually my social media and my different law firms. If I have different things different projects that I'm working on, let's just say I have a podcast, I have my one for my synagogue that I tap into, my book, my productivity, whatever that is. These are like different needs, and I have way more of these, but these are just the ones that I use on a frequent basis. I create those. Over time, I'm adding more to it. The more information that I get to it, I feed it. And then when I have that particular need, I go back to that agent. Really valuable. Again, not being utilized enough. Have your, each of these is like my little consultants. Each of these is worth $500 a month for me because I utilize them a lot. When it comes to marketing, when it comes to a lot of data. Every time I get any data, I just throw it in. Tell me some, give me some analysis about my data that I probably don't know about that will help me achieve this goal. Tell me, how I can improve this. How can I turn this ad using this, using this framework, which is basically this particular ad or something that I see, apply this framework to everything you know about employment law, whatever that is. A lot of different ways to be able to play around with it. So call to action, if you already have these agents built out, great, turn into bookmarks. If you don't, start building out these different agents. Is each topic a different agent? So it should be a very overarching, topic. So definitely should have one for your law firm. So that's like one topic. And what I found is, sometimes I've used these agents so much that it got overwhelmed. It had so much data and it became really slow to respond back. So what I did was, and that's why I have these twos, because it's the second version. What I did was I said, hey, this conversation has too much data, and I want to train a new ChatGPT agent based on everything you already know about this particular topic. So given the top 100 most detailed description about everything you know about this law firm or whatever that is. And now it gives me an output. And then I take that output and I go train a new, clean, fresh AI agent who knows those top 100 takeaways with details that I could use to train a new agent. So you'll to kind of replicate the different versions. John, for the most part, to answer your question, I would say just start off with your law firm agent and an agent that knows you. That'll be probably a good place to start. If you can just utilize those two, good. If you see that you might need a third branch, then do that. Laurent, your question will be addressed right now in the third point, all the legal stuff. So this is when you're referring to when you mentioned the agent becomes sleepy. Yes, it becomes like really slow. And that was like after a year of me feeding it data, because I've been feeding it data for 2 years. So yeah, once it becomes really, really heavy, I guess then you train it with a new agent.